Hi there, and thanks so much for checking out this video. So this is my 2023 setup video, and I wanted to get this out way earlier, but unfortunately I just was so busy over December, I just really couldn't get it done. And I've had a bit of a cold as well, so you can probably hear that in my voice, it's a bit stuffy, but yeah, better late than never, right? So this is my third year doing bullet journaling. This is only the second setup I did, because the first year I started bullet journaling I didn't do a setup. I think because it was quite new to me and I wasn't really sure if I would run with it and continue with doing journaling. I didn't bother doing one, but I actually ended up loving it so much that yeah, here I am, and 2 years later. So as you can probably tell from the intro, I have got myself a shiny new bujo. This year I got it from Notebook Therapy. I have always had Archer and Olive journals before, but I've really struggled to get hold of them this year. There's not many UK retailers, and I could order it straight from the shop in America, but the shipping costs are very, very high to this country, so I decided to give Notebook Therapy a try instead. And yeah, I was really pleasantly surprised by the quality of it, because I know how good Archer and Olive stuff is already, and I was a bit tentative trying something new, but I'd heard good things about Notebook Therapy, and yeah, the pages are really, really thick, really good quality paper, and it's just, yeah, a lovely, well-made book. So my theme for this yearly setup is a travel theme. I haven't done any travel recently and I really want to get back into it, so hopefully this year I'm going to do a little bit of travel. And also I had this idea close to the beginning of last year actually, where I was wondering about maybe theming the whole journal, so every month sort of links into the same theme. So I did come up with a load of ideas for a travel theme, so lots of different countries for each month. And I think the themes are going to be fairly loose as well, so I'm not going to hold myself to literal themes. So for instance, if I had chosen Paris or France or something, I could literally just draw the Eiffel Tower, or it could be something a bit less literal, so something like French patisserie, or just like the colours of the flag, or something that the country is known for. I'm not going to hold myself to this theme though, I'm going to try and see if I can do it, but if it doesn't work out or I'm not really enjoying it, then I'm just going to go with whatever during the year. Honestly, I can see myself doing that because I'm quite spontaneous with what my themes are. I have loads of plans about what themes I want to do, and then quite often I will think of something really last minute just before I'm filming and I get carried away with that idea. So yeah, my intention is to do a travel theme and base all of my months around different countries, but I'm not sure, we'll just see how that goes. So the initial setup pages are just going to be sort of generic travel and have lots of doodles and things like suitcases and passports and stuff like that, so I thought that would be really cute. So for my cover page I'm doing a doodle of a suitcase and just putting 2023 on the front of it. I've made a little label there just out of some craft paper and stuck it on, kind of like that slightly 3D element. And I've got these really cute washi stickers with leaves, and I'm cutting around the suitcase so it kind of looks like they're sticking out from behind the suitcase rather than layered on top of. And then the reoccurring thing throughout this will be little doodles. So I've got like a passport and a camera and a little globe and a map and all that sort of stuff. I've drawn them out on tracing paper first so that I can then recreate them several times and use them throughout the bullet journal. And I'm drawing them on some matte sticker paper and then cutting them out. I just feel like that will give me a bit more freedom to just put them wherever I want on the page. In some cases I could draw them, but yeah, I think it's going to be easier if I have them as stickers and then I can just put them wherever. I'm using brush pens this time to do all my doodles and illustrations. I don't use them that often because I don't normally get on with them very well for colouring in. I don't know, I just find it quite difficult. I usually go for watercolour if I'm colouring stuff in, but I'm actually quite enjoying using them and I think they've worked out quite well. I already had this sticker of an aeroplane from another random set that I already had, which is lucky because I didn't really want to draw a plane because I'm not sure how well that would have gone. But yeah, that works really well on the front cover with my other little stickers. And I added this dashed line all the way around the suitcase just to sort of represent, I don't know, mapping and travelling out places, which I think is quite cute and fills a bit more of the white space. And then just to fill up the corner spaces, I'm adding some map washi tape that I got from the washi tape shop. And I also have this stamp that is a compass, which looks quite cool. And yeah, some more washi stickers. So the next double page spread is the future log, and I'm doing this really similarly to how I did it last year because it worked out really well for me. I really found it simple and easy to use, so if it ain't broke, don't fix it. There are quite a few of my setups that are going to be similar to what I did last year. I found that most of them worked out pretty well for me, so I didn't want to change them up too much. I have added a few different things and I've taken out a few things that I didn't use last year. I haven't included a key this year because I feel like I know all my symbols well enough that I don't really need to put that in for myself, so I'm leaving that out. Last year I also had a page just for brainstorming art ideas because I felt like I had loads of ideas knocking around my head. I actually found I barely use that page at all because I have another journal where I just do art stuff in and just jot things down, so actually I found that that wasn't useful, so I'm just leaving it out this time. Last year I also had a when did I last set up, so I would sort of write down the activity and then write down the date that I last did it so that I can track how often I'm doing it or remind myself to, you know, book another dentist appointment or something like that, you know. I actually found that I didn't use it at all. I thought it was going to be super useful and I was going to fill it out loads, but I barely put anything in it at all. So yeah, I'm leaving it out this year because yeah, I just didn't find it useful, unfortunately. So for my life log, I just write down all of the dates from 1 to whatever, and then I highlight the weekends. And this year I'm also adding on the week number, which I didn't have last year, so I think that's going to be quite useful to have that. And at the bottom I have added in a birthday section, which I also did last year, and I did find it was really easy to look at, and it just, my eye was immediately drawn to the things that I need to remember this month, which are usually the birthdays, so yeah, having them separate from all the other dates and events that are going on was quite useful. In between the title for each month, I added in these little washi tape stickers from a Notebook Therapy. They were from my light academia set. I put them in there because I felt like it needed some more embellishment, but actually I then decided later on towards the end that I actually didn't really like them and I didn't feel like it fit with the theme. So I then took them off and changed them. So I did 6 months at a time on each page, and then after I'd finished that right up to December, the next spread is my dates for 2024. So I found that although my future log was really useful, I didn't leave any space to write down future dates for the next year, so I found that actually I had a few events to go to, such as weddings and parties and things that I just didn't have any space to write down, so I had to find another page for that. So I just thought I would make sure I incorporated that this year so that I already had somewhere to put those dates down. So this page doesn't really need much other than the title, so I did that on a little postcard that was part of a craft set that I got, so I cut that one out and just wrote the title on there and then added my embellishments around the edge. And then the next page is really similar, but I wrote the title on a luggage tag. And this page is a new one that I decided to do, so it's called New Things in 2023, and it's just a place to sort of jot down things that I've tried for the first time in 2023. I used to do this years ago when I was a lot younger, and just write down random things that I'd never done before, I'd never tried before, just simple things like trying a new food or going to a new place or meeting somebody new, just new things that happened that year. And it's quite cool to look back at and just think of all the things that you've done in a year, because sometimes you just kind of don't really realise how much you do, I think. The next page is my focus page. I think some people would call theirs a goals page, but I tend to find the word goals isn't really helpful for me. I tend to think that to focus on something is better than to maybe have a goal, because sometimes your goals are not always achievable, and all the things that you want are not just down to you, but you can do things to help you get to where you want to be, if that makes sense. So I use the word focus rather than goals to help achieve that. The setup is pretty much the same as I did last year. I also used a ripped up piece of craft paper to write my focus areas down on. So yeah, it's pretty much the same, but with just different embellishments this time. And a new spread that I added that kind of works in conjunction with the focus page is a 6-month review and a 12-month review. So I didn't add that in last year, but I did find at sort of like the 6-month mark, I kind of thought I wanted to sort of jot down what I had done regarding the areas of focus that I'd written down. So just kind of noting down how much progress I'd made, what I still had to do, timescales, things like that. So I found it quite useful to have a look at it at 6 months, and then at the end of the year have a look at it again and see, like, did I focus on the areas that I wanted to, and if I didn't, how can I change to get to where I want to be. The next page is my period tracker, and I did do this one last year and I found it quite useful, so I wanted to do it again. Last year the layout I did involved just having dots down every month rather than numbers, and although it looked quite nice, it was really annoying having to count all the dots every time I wanted to fill it in. So yeah, this time I'm going for a box system with the numbers in, and I will just colour in the boxes according to when my period is. And the next page is my wish list page, and I did have this one last year and I don't feel like I utilised it quite as much as I could have, so I've kind of added a few more columns this time to make it a bit more usable. So I've got 2 tables, one is things that I know I need and one is for things that I want and will be saving up for. So I have columns for the item, and then one for the retailer and one for the price. And then I also have just a tick box area for whether it's an online shop or not, and if so, what's the estimated delivery date, and then another tick box at the end just to say whether I've received it or not. And the final page that I have for this setup is a social media content planner page. So I found it really useful in 2022 just for each month to jot down a couple of things that I had planned to post to YouTube and to Instagram. And then it sort of helped me plan things out, because sometimes I would do something or have an idea for something that would maybe correspond to a certain month, like maybe something for Halloween or something for Christmas. If I did something, like if I did a piece of work, like a painting or something, before I wanted to post it, it was a good idea just to jot it down to make sure I didn't forget when I wanted to post it. So I've done a box for every month, and then on the right I've also added a milestones box, and that was quite nice actually, just to sort of jot down when I hit another milestone in subscribers or followers and the date. That sort of also helps you track whether or not there's something you've posted that specifically really boosts that or not. So yeah, that was quite useful and quite nice to see as well over the year. So yeah, that is my 2023 setup. I hope you enjoyed it. I like making it. It's kind of not really my normal style. I wouldn't normally do little doodles like that and make my own stickers. That's the first time I've really sort of done that. But I thought it was really fun and I liked doing it. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching that. If you did, please feel free to leave a comment and a like, and consider subscribing if you want to see more arts and crafts and bullet journals. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!